Ministry Chick Network podcast. I'm Melissa Mashburn, and today we're going to talk about the calling is real, but so are the hard days. Today, Dr. Brandy Baxter is going to be joining me, and we're talking about something that I think a lot of women in ministry are feeling right now, but haven't said it out loud yet. So here we go. Let's get started. This month's theme is on reflecting and refuel, and how you can't lead well if you don't take the time to allow yourself to get filled. And I understand it's easy to keep running because Sunday's always coming. And it took me forever to understand that you're never going to get everything done on your to-do list when it comes to ministry stuff. It's constant evaluation of what works and what doesn't work. So here's what we're hearing from women in ministry right now. And I get it. I feel it too. I'm running low, not empty, not broken, not doubting, just low, right? And I don't even know when I'm going to have the space or the grace to stop.
Right. No, I get that. When you said Sunday is always coming, I heard my grandmother's voice saying, it feels like a month of Sundays. It's like always Sunday. And honestly, ministry is even beyond just the Sunday. That's like
Oh,
the
yeah.
game day. There's
Right.
so much preparation that leads up to Sunday. And I just feel like a lot of time when we are talking with women, they feel like I am stuck in this season. I can't get out of it and it's draining me. And I'm always reminded that the Bible tells us the joy of the Lord is our strength. And
Yeah.
I'm like, hello, Father. Could I get another download of that joy? Because I feel like I'm giving everything out and nothing is coming back in.
Yeah. Well, like you said, it's not just Sunday. Our church, we have Wednesday night, then we have women's on Tuesday. There's other things going on. I know your church does this. Our church does this too. We have like events all the time, events, conferences, the thing. And they're great. There's no shade on that, but it's not just Sunday. Then you throw in whether you're single or married or have kids or don't have
Right.
kids, there's all these other layers of things. And so I just wanted to take a moment in this and remind those that are listening, you can't
Yeah.
pour from a place you never, ever let get filled. And that's not just an empty statement. That's
Right.
true. That is true. And I want you to hear me on this. It's not a discipline problem. It's not because you're not disciplined, and it's not because you don't manage your time well or because I think sometimes we fall into, well, maybe I'm just not organized, or maybe how
I
come
need another productivity hack.
oh, and you and I both love the productivity hack. It's not a discipline problem. A lot of times it's a structural one. And so I want to ask you, why does this happen specifically to women in ministry?
Well, I think a little part of it is we have a calling that drives us.
Yeah.
We have a ministry that provides opportunities for us to serve.
Yeah.
And we often forget what is fueling us. And it's so easy to be driven in an environment where our gifts, talents, knowledge, skills, etc. show up.
Yeah.
And we're doing the thing and we don't pause to realize I need to be fueled myself. So
Yeah.
today I'm wearing this hat, ladies. It says woman veteran. So for those of you who don't know, I am a woman veteran. But in
Yes.
preparation for this episode, it reminded me of when I was going through basic training. And we would wake up early and go to bed late. And it just felt like the entire day was jam-packed with activity, whether physical, emotional. We had to learn things. And it was a lot of pouring out. It was a lot
Yeah.
of doing. And then I always remember our drill instructor would always say, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. And that means
Hydrate.
stop and drink some water. Exactly. Stop and drink some water. And the reason behind that is because while it doesn't feel like I'm doing a lot of strenuous activity, just the constant movement, my body was getting drained. And so even in an environment to create a person for the military, a serviceman or woman, there is this underlying understanding that
Mhm.
hydration, pouring back into you is important for sustaining you to accomplish the mission. And
Yeah.
so I think women in ministry, we forget that, right? Because the calling is driving us. The calling is pulling us closer to the thing that God wants us to do, the purpose He
Mhm.
has designed for us. And our environments are giving us all these opportunities to do the thing.
You right?
We have to be like that drill instructor in our ear saying, hydrate. And that
Mm.
means tapping back into the source of living water. That
Yeah.
means tapping back into not just what I have on my external environment, how my day is structured, but how am I really truly spending time with the Lord?
Mm.
Not just a devotional to check it off the box,
Right.
not just a devotion to say I've done my devotion for the day,
Right.
but really sitting and allowing the Holy Spirit to pour back into you.
That's so, so good. And I want to add this in because I don't know whether you've been told explicitly or implicitly that pouring out is holy, right? Like we're going
Mm,
to pour it all out. That's true. But filling up is selfish. And that, that bad theology is costing you everything. And one of my
mhm.
counselors, you'll hear in these conversations, I'm a firm believer in Christian counseling,
Same.
firm believer, been in counseling as long as I've been in ministry because the call is heavy and hard. But one of my counselors told me this, and she said, self care is not selfish. It is good
Mhm.
stewardship. We plug in our phones to let them recharge. If you have an electric car, you plug it in, you get groceries, you feed your body. So why wouldn't you do the same thing in doing what you need to do and
Mhm.
not um taking care of filling yourself in. And so what is it I'm going to ask you this, what does it actually cost when you keep running on empty?
I mean, honestly, Melissa, the cost is so high. I just think about when we are not operating as our whole selves,
Mhm.
we cannot be our whole selves for other people.
Mm.
And it may sound like, well, I'm doing it for them, but genuinely the people we love and care about are the ones who suffer. Just
Yeah.
a moment of transparency. I will show up for my ministry team and press through and then come home and I'm empty for my kiddos.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will show up on Sunday morning, shake hands and kiss babies, and then I'm too exhausted Sunday night to enjoy a meal with my husband.
Mm.
I will show up for a Bible study or a discipleship group because I prepare for that,
Yeah.
and then I don't spend time actually allowing the Lord to minister to my heart. And
Yeah.
in all of that, it's kind of like, even Jesus says you're like a whitewashed grave. The
Yeah.
cup is dirty on the inside, but
Yeah.
it's beautiful on the outside. And so what suffers is my spirituality suffers.
Right.
My faith suffers. My relationships that are most important to me, the closest to me, are often the ones that suffer. And
Yeah.
so we have to dial back and say, you know what? Am I really honoring the Lord with this calling, this gift that He has given me, if I have all these other things that are cracked, that
Yeah.
are broken, because I've allowed my productivity hacks to present this thing on the exterior that everything is all together, where behind the scenes it's in shambles.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Said this in my book, and I've said this for years because my kids are grown and flown, right? They got their own
Mhm.
families, their own kids, that whole thing. Um, it's it. I call that sacrificing your family on the altar of ministry.
Mhm.
And I
Yep.
know that sounds harsh, but it is a regret because I
Yeah.
put everything into the calling and the work of the Lord without realizing how I was showing up in my own family after all of that. And so I just want to
Yeah.
make sure that while you're listening to us, we're not pointing fingers or anything. We're talking to you as women who are in it. She's still got kids at home. Mine are
Yeah.
grown, and what we're learning from this about not pouring into ourselves, but constantly pouring out. And that's how it leads to burnout. And that's how it leads to fatigue. And you just become, um, you become, it's kinda like the one sheep that went off or whatever, you become a target for the enemy.
Mhm.
Right, because
Yeah.
you're out there on your own. He doesn't go after the 99, he's the roaring lion that's prowling around, right? So and that's how it happens is when you kinda keep pouring out, pouring out, pouring out, but not getting poured in is
Right.
you're dry, and foundationally,
Yeah.
that's just not healthy.
And beyond not healthy, Melissa, it's actually counterproductive.
Mhm,
And so when you think about the word ministry, the root of that word is to minister, to
mhm.
serve. And so it's sort of like if you just pause, don't put the cart before the horse. How can I serve others if I haven't spent the time serving myself?
Mm, it's
And
the
I don't
able
think
Oh, that's so good. Yes, sorry, I just went to John
no, go. Say it,
5.
say it, say
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and because I love this verse, and we know well, here's the thing, we know this verse, "If you remain in me and I remain in you," and all of that, and it goes back to when we think about a abide, and I'm pulling it up right
Mhm.
now. This is why I keep my Bible right here because I love the language in this because it says, "Yes, I am the vine, you are the branches. Those who remain in me and I in them will produce much fruit. Will, not a might or whatever, will. But listen
Right.
to this. For apart from me, you can do nothing. Nothing.
Nothing.
So,
Exactly.
so convicting
Right.
to remember everything we have is coming from Him. Everything we
Mhm.
get to do is coming from Him. And if we're not filling back up with Him, it just makes me think of the the noisy gong, right?
Yeah.
And so
And let me reframe that. I don't even want us to take that text as convicting. I want
mhm,
us to take the text as encouraging
mm,
because so many of us are serving with our natural talent, skills, and ability. And
yeah.
it's gotten us to a point that everyone on the outside is applauding us, right?
Yes,
And
yes,
yet, the Lord is the discerner of hearts. So he knows that you are operating in your own strength and that this is not sustainable. So the
yeah,
encouragement is it's okay, sis. Don't do it by yourself anymore. The encouragement is put on your planner the time to abide with the Father. Put
that's
on your
good.
schedule the time to be connected to the vine. That is actually encouraging you. It's encouraging me to say, I need to block out time because this
Yep,
is my source. This is
right,
where I'm sustainable. This is what fuels my ministry so
right,
that I can bear much fruit. So give
right.
yourself permission to put on. I mean, Melissa and I talk about this. I started this new thing, y'all, where I only check my email Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And
Oh
it
my.
has given me so much space in my
I'm like,
mind.
"Okay,
Everyone's like, "Did you get the email?" And I was like, "I'll get it on the
nope."
next day."
Mhm.
Because I realized I had to tap into the source. All that email, all that text messages was pulling me away from spending time with the Lord. And
Mhm.
that is my strength. So let this text encourage you that you need to make some adjustments to your structure, make some adjustment to your schedule, make some adjustments to the framing that you are operating out of so that you can get what you need.
Oh, that's so good. So what I hear you saying is it's not in place of the ministry, the work of the ministry that you're doing. It's actually the condition for it.
Mm,
You're filling yourself up so that you can sustainably give to others, right? And
right.
so what looking at this practically, Tuesdays, the calendar's full, it's real. What does that look like that it doesn't require a sabbatical or a retreat?
Mm-hmm.
Because you and I both know we like those practical steps, boots on the ground.
Right.
What does this look like? So what does that look like when it's Tuesday, the calendar's full, but the needs are real and you're tapped out?
Yeah. So first, first of all, let me put this disclaimer out here. My personality is different in that some of the things that I say, they work for me because of how I'm designed, how my personality. So what that
Fair.
looks like is I check my calendar every Sunday night
Mhm.
and I'm looking ahead, like what's on the schedule. And if it looks like it's getting too crazy, I will put on my calendar personal time. so
Yeah.
that nothing else pops on there, right? So the way my business is structured, my clients can see the calendar, and if it's an open slot, they can book it. But if I look at my calendar on Sunday night and it's crazy, I will book myself. Just say
Yeah.
personal time. Another thing I just shared is I only check email Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And honestly, Melissa, I'm thinking about reversing that and only checking email on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the near future. The other
Oh.
thing is, yeah, I put my cell phone and my laptop on do not disturb during certain hours of the day.
Yeah.
So unless you're on my emergency contact list, you're not getting through. That has been a game changer with
Yeah.
limiting the interruptions.
Yeah.
But let's just say you have done all those things and Tuesday night is still crazy. It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Kids are getting ready to come home from school. Dinner needs to be prepared. And you got a
Ugh.
leadership team meeting. What are you
Ugh.
going to do? This is where my church does something that is called intentional apprenticing. We are very intentional about someone else knowing all the things that I know. One, it helps me not do ministry alone. And then two, in those instances where I'm tapped out, it's kind of like I can reach and tap in the next
Yeah.
person. So if
Yep.
I see Tuesday night is crazy and I just can't do it, then I will call my apprentice and say, I can't do it. In order for me to show up as my best self, I've got to take this time.
And
Are
and take
you
it out.
available to step
Yep.
in for me? If she says no, she should have an apprentice. So then there should be a third person in the string that we can reach out to say, can you step in for me?
Right.
And
Mm.
if none of that works, then the very next thing that I do is I put time on the next day to block out
Yeah.
to restore myself. So I may push through on Tuesday night because it's short notice, but I need to restore myself on that Wednesday.
Right, and we've all been there, right? We've all been there where
Mhm.
you just gotta, pull yourself up by your and I hate to say this because I know that's such an old cliche statement, "Pull yourself by your bootstraps, do the thing," or whatever, but there are times in ministry where you just have to show up and get it done,
Right.
but that does not mean that you do that every single day of your
Right.
ministry career because you're not refilling, but that is I love that you take Fridays and or Sundays and look, I do the same thing and map out my week and I can kind of see. As a matter of fact, today was looking kind of busy and I canceled some things in the afternoon
Mhm.
because I knew in this season in my capacity that I needed a little bit more margin. And
Right.
so uh, you may not be able to do that very thing, but you can say, I'm not cooking dinner. I'm not making a decision
Mhm.
for dinner. We're gonna have a picnic and eat Lunchables on the floor on a blanket and watch
Right.
Bluey or sit outside and
Mhm.
watch the birds and whatever. But you can make decisions, and we want to make sure that you have permission to stop. Not eventually, but and not in the sometime in the future. And we're not talking sabbaticals and retreats and all of
Right.
these expensive things. You have permission this week to let something fill you before you continue to pour out.
Mhm.
Please hear us say that. You don't need our permission. You don't need anybody else's permission. You need to listen to your body and what God is saying and pay
Yeah.
attention. I think Lisa Turker says this. Your feelings are indicators, not dictators. So it's like the check in.
Mm.
When things start to feel or you start to react different ways, listen to your body and say, I need some time with the Lord. I need some
Mhm.
quiet time. I need to pull away. We want you to understand that resting and refueling looks different for different people. Some people are going to want to run and hike and do all kinds of fun things. I'm in South Texas and we are coming up in summer and it is hot.
Right.
So that is not the thing. But whatever you do, it's not abandoning your calling. It's taking care of the vessel that he is in you.
Mhm.
So when you rest and refuel, do what works for you and don't make it like this big super complicated thing. Start small. Start
Right.
small and take one step.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to ask you, what is one thing that you can do this week? Not again, not this big perfect European vacation, or I'm going to go sit with the monks in wherever they are. I know they're everywhere, but you know what I'm saying. But one thing that fills you, not
Yeah.
the thing that you think should fill you. Let me clarify that. That actually fills you. That the thing that you go, "Whew, that was so good," and put it
Mhm.
on your calendar. Your calendar is filling up either way.
Right.
Intentionally, like Brandy said, block it off and make it happen.
Yes, indeed. And so when we think about all of the things we've talked about, being filled, being connected, and how we as women in ministry can often just run so hard, we run ourselves all the way out. Melissa and
One
I want to just invite you to be part of our community with the Ministry Chick Network. We really try to meet the need and provide practical ways that you can serve in ministry without burning out and
Yep.
burning up. And so when we think about resources that we have available, I encourage you to go to our website, ministrychick.com, check out the clarity journal that we have, all of the resources that are available. But the best resource that we think we have right now in this season is
Mhm.
our membership. And you can get access to the membership for just a low price of $45 a month. We have little chats like this. We do monthly coaching. But you're part of a community of women who are locking arms with each other and going into battle together. I don't want to beat the whole military metaphor to death, but it really reminds me one of the things I enjoyed most about being in the military was knowing that the person to my left and to my right had received the same training, had the same mission, and we were in it together. And that's what we want to provide for you as part of the Ministry Chick Network. You're not doing ministry alone. Even though you may feel like no one gets it, we get it.
Yeah.
And Melissa and I get it, and the other women in the community get it. So we invite you to just join us. And we want you to keep listening to our podcast, right? We have these conversations based on what we hear other women saying. So make sure to like, subscribe, share with a friend who might be feeling like she's running low right now. And she
Yeah.
might just need that extra encouragement to be refueled and listen to the practical tips that we've shared.
And just remember this, you don't have to lead alone. We will see you next time on the Ministry Chick Network podcast. Bye bye. Friend, here's what I want you to hear. You are not failing. You're running low, plain and simple. And that is not the same thing. You have permission to stop. You didn't actually need permission to stop, but you have permission to stop this week, before September, before the next season, before things actually even slow down. You cannot pour from a place you never let get filled. And the women you lead need you full. The teams you lead need you full, not empty. If you want more of this, more of Brandy's framework and our membership and all of those things, more of these honest conversations, more of a community that understands what you carry, well, the Ministry Chick Network has its own individual membership and it's $45 a month right now. But here's what you need to know. That is changing on September 1st. Everything you need and more is at member.ministrychick.com/courses/membership. And remember this, you don't have to and you don't need to lead alone. I'll see you next time.